Morning, Christina. Is it cold enough for you? Okay, doing something I said I wasn't going to do anymore. Moving bees down to South Georgia. The sun just came up. It's pretty cold. And we've been waiting for a cold day so we could load and move in the daytime. Generally, if you're below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, it works okay in the daylight as long as you're careful. And that's what we're up to today. But Jeff Stalvey down in Hayhira offered a few extra yards he had down there, and the pollen's flowing from the wild radish down there already, so I thought, why not? Seth's already got 220 colonies down there. He's going to take a handful of his today too. We're going to load 2 trucks and get that done in time for our Christmas party at 11 o'clock. So yes, that'll be fun. Today's our Christmas party. I have to take some pictures of that too. This truck has a 17-foot bed, which means it'll hold 48 colonies on one layer, 12 pallets. And people often ask me what size yards I like. And when I used to move bees a lot, it was really dictated by the size of the trucks. This truck, when you're loading singles, will hold 192. So that gives you 3 options. You can have 4 yards of 48, 3 yards of 64, or 2 yards of 96. Where we're going today, it'll be 3 yards of 64. You could go 5 high on this truck, but it's a little bit of an overload for a long distance trip in my view. It's quite comfortable with 4 high. This is a 5500 Dodge. It does a nice job. And then if you are hauling double deeps, in this case you would make it 2 layers of 48, which would be 96 colonies, give you 2 yards of 48. And then our smaller trucks with a 12-foot bed, they'll haul 32 to a layer. So if you're going 4 high with singles, you got 4 times 32. Or you can go, if it's double deeps, you got 2 layers of double deeps, you got a load of 32 or 64. So you can see how all the numbers kind of jive with these trucks. And now these days I don't pay much attention to the size precisely because we're not moving so much. But in the old days I had a lot of yards that were 64 colonies or 96, and that's the reason I chose those numbers. These days I like the smaller yards because honestly the bees do better. In a major honey flow it doesn't much matter. When it really matters is when the pickings are slim, when there's either a minor nectar flow or a small pollen flow, and you don't need 64 or 96 colonies in one spot beating up on each other and competing for the limited assets. In those cases I like a 32 or something like that. I do have some yards that are only 24. They're really from the past, or in many cases the yards that are 24 now are in a spot we simply can't even get any more colonies in there because up in the mountains, good flat yards where you can get 64 or 96 aren't all that easy to get. This is one of our most convenient yards. We call it the post office yard because the Lakemont post office is just about 200 yards that direction. We use it as a staging area. I used to load semi-trucks in this spot. Haven't loaded a semi-truck in 3 or 4 years though, but it's still convenient for our local moving. Seth and I have about a 5.5 hour drive ahead of us. We'll leave right after the Christmas party. We're going to do the way I've showed on other videos. We use the plywood on top to hold the lids down. I kind of like overkilling on tying the load down. People accuse me of putting too many straps on, but I've had issues with pieces coming off of loads in the past, and I don't want that to happen, especially out on the interstate. Local, going real slow, a lid flying off or something isn't a big deal, but on the interstate doing 70 miles an hour, if a lid comes off the top of the load, it could kill somebody, go through a windshield on the car behind you. So you'll see us be very careful how we tie this load down. Shouldn't take long. Seth knows what to do, so we're a good team when it comes to loading a truck. Something I like to do is put a twist in the strap to keep it from vibrating in the wind, especially the top. We'll probably put 2 twists on the top. Come closer, Nathan. We purposely buy straps with buckles that have that little gap right there so we can slip this in. Not all are made that way, but if you watch, you can find them. Good way to close the excess strap.
These are about our favorite straps, ain't it? The condom, or
Yeah,
however you pronounce it.
Actually. There's several manufacturers that do that have this little gap right here. It works really well.